Good morning, and my name is Victor Guerreri, and I'm a student here at Southwestern College of Professional Studies. A problem has plagued the Veterans Administration for many years, and recent conflicts in Iraq and Southwest Asia have brought this issue to the forefront, and that is the veterans' discontent with the lengthy wait times over filing disability benefits with the Veterans Administration. Now, today I want to talk to you about number one, the history of the VA, so you have somewhat of an understanding, if you're not familiar with it, what the Veterans Administration is really about. Second, I want to talk about the disenfranchisement that veterans are feeling over the lengthy wait times in filing their disability benefits. And thirdly, I want to talk to you about what the VA is doing to fix the problem. On March 4th of 1865, President Lincoln, in his second inaugural address to the nation, shortly before the Civil War ended, stated these words, and I want to read them to you word for word. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right of God, gives us the right to see it. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who has borne the battle for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. Now these words, to care for him who should have borne the battle for his widow and his orphan, are part of the Veterans Administration motto. Any Veterans Administration facility that you go in today, you will see this motto on their wall or on plaques or on signs throughout the facility. Now the Veterans Administration is in charge of some other benefits that are given to veterans. Home loans, guaranteed home loans for veterans, educational benefits to include tuition assistance, burial benefits to National Cemetery, and of course what we're going to talk about today, the medical side of it, or the medical benefits that are offered to veterans. Now, the veterans' disenfranchisement with the lengthy wait times is the core of the issue. As a veteran, I've used my benefits through the VA. I've received 2 home loans, and I've used the educational benefits. I have not experienced any delays or dissatisfaction in the process of using these benefits. Now, I served my country for over 20 years, and I left the service healthy and with all my faculties. I was one of the lucky ones. This is not the case for hundreds of thousands of my brothers and sisters in arms. Now, the Center for Investigative Reporting, which is a watchdog group that looks at investigative journalists and their work and double checks it for accuracy to make sure that, of course, it's correct and they're putting out proper information. Now, in March 11th of 2012, the CIR, or Center for Investigative Reporting, obtained some internal VA documentation, and they verified this documentation with the Veterans Administration. Now, we know that the Veterans Administration tracks and reports on a wide variety of things, but they have tracked and reported on the lengthy wait times in filing a disability benefits. Now, they report that for newly filed claims, the average wait time is 273 days. That's almost a year. 273 days from the time you file the claim until you receive benefits, on average, 273 days. Now, during this 273 days, you're not receiving any treatment. You're not receiving any help. Anything that you do receive or any help that you do get is separate from the VA, which means a lot of our veterans are going lengthy times without receiving any benefits from the Veterans Administration. Internal data indicates that the actual wait times are between 316 and 327 days, almost a year. This includes those who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. During this time, like I said before, treatment and rehabilitation is put on hold. Now, Lincoln Capstick, an unemployed Iraqi veteran, said in the article through the CIR that he is not surprised at the number of veterans that commit suicide in this time frame. Capstick lives in Indiana, where the average time is 612 days for new claims. over 2 years, close to 2 years. Waiting is not an option for these American heroes or their families. Paul Sullivan, who is a Gulf War veteran and former VA project manager, said that the agency needs to publicly come forward and disclose the severity of the claims, delay, and error crisis. Now, this has been a long-standing issue with the Veterans Administration and all that surrounds it. But to be fair to both sides, the present administration is working hard to fix problems that they inherited. When this all came to the forefront, there was a lot of upper-level management in the Veterans Administration that were replaced. So, no one person or entity is at blame. The doctors in the system are following policies set forth by the administrators. Also, there are some veterans that try to abuse the system and file false claims. At the root of the issue is the political bureaucracy that has filled the system for many years. Political games played with the lives of our veterans to save money and advance special interest and political goals. Now, the VA is doing everything that they can currently to fix the issue. In January of 2013, the Department of Veterans Affairs put out a report, the Strategic Plan to Eliminate Compensation Claims Backlog, after directed by the Obama administration to look into fixing the problem at the VA. The document and plan was implemented to speed up the process for filing and completing claims. Part of what they did is they increased the education with the employees of the Veterans Administration that are still currently there, increasing the education so that they can file these claims quicker and they can help the veterans and their families. They increased the workforce. They added personnel to the Veterans Administration to help downsize the number of claims that were out there that hadn't been filed yet. They updated the technology by streamlining the aged computer system that they currently had. And they're in the process of still revamping a lot of facilities to increase the ability for hospitals to meet the needs of our veterans and their families. Now, all this is a daunting task for the current VA administration that has inherited a broken system. But they are trying to do everything that they can as possible. As of December 5th, 2015, the backlog of claims was reported to be down to 368,000. And that's down from 883,000. The process is getting better, but it's not fixed for the entirety. Per current standards, the VA considers any claim over 127 days to be part of this backlog. So from 0 to 127 days, they're not considered a backlog. Anything over 127 days is considered in that backlog of 368,000 claims that have been filed. Now, it is apparent that the issue is taking care of Americans' wounded warriors and their families is in a major rebuilding process. Much like President Lincoln's second inaugural address, we are fixing what has been torn apart and misused and rebuilding the system into what it should be. As Americans, we owe a debt of gratitude to the men and women of the armed forces. We owe it to all veterans of all wars to keep an eye on the VA and our own government. As a retired veteran, I urge all veterans to stay informed on the issues affecting us in using our benefits and make sure that we do use our benefits. An issue cannot be fixed by turning a blind eye and pretending that it is not there. We do have the power and voice only if we use it to help those who do not. This is part of our freedom as Americans, and it is owed to our veterans. Thank you.